Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Erin and this channel is all about how to overcome your own limitations to build the business and life of your dreams. So today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my entire business story, and this has actually come from a comment that I received last week, and the person leaving this comment was basically implying that I sort of hadn't really shared my struggles, and a lot of my business was a bit vague because I had sort of launched my business and all of a sudden having all of this amazing success without you guys actually really knowing the backstory as to what was happening with me, how I was sort of bringing in clients and all of that. So what I thought I would do is really sit down with you today and take you through my entire business journey so that you can really understand how I have got to where I am today, how I've been able to grow this YouTube channel, how I've been able to, have such success on Facebook with my Facebook group, and of course, how I've been able to bring in clients and grow my business. So I don't know whether or not this video is going to get super long, but what I will do is sort of chunk it out and leave timestamps down below for, I guess, each individual topic that I'm going to speak about throughout this video. I would also like to mention before I do get into my story that if you did want to sort of get to know me a bit better, if you did sort of want to join in on some of the Facebook Lives that I do, if you did want to sort of just, I guess, connect with me on a more intimate setting, YouTube is obviously more of a visual platform where I'm sharing content to you. You guys can leave comments, but it's not obviously conversational. You can actually add me as a friend on Facebook. I will leave the information down below. As I said, that is where I do Facebook Lives answering more in depth your questions about business, entrepreneurship, and obviously being an influencer. So add me on Facebook and let's be friends. Hashtag let's be friends is what I've been saying pretty much everywhere. But if you like the video, then please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you're new here. I put out new videos every Tuesday and Friday. So I did just want to start the video with, I guess, a little bit of a summary of my background. So I was a terrible student at school, and I mean a terrible student. I went to a private Catholic girls' school as my first high school, and I actually got asked to leave that school because I was just so bad. I never went to school. I got in a lot of trouble. I was the girl that everyone was always with their blazers, perfect, knee-high socks we had to wear, no makeup, hair in a ponytail, hats, and I would come with my Adidas 3 stripes, gym jumper, ankle socks, and just refuse to do anything about it. But, and then when I actually left that school, I went to a different school, which was a little bit more of a lenient school. It didn't have a uniform. Cha-ching for me at the time. It was a TAFE-based high school here in Melbourne, and I was still terrible there as well. I still never went. I still got in a lot of trouble. My mum was in and out of the principal's office all the time. I feel terrible for what I did to her. She was constantly worried about me. I would just never go to class. I was one of those annoying students which you just want to punch in the face because they constantly speak back to the teachers. I was that kid. Full blown, all I wanted to do was just not be at school. And I actually refused to take my end of year 12 exams. I did graduate year 12, so the highest level of high school, but I didn't have like an enter score, which is the, I guess, score that they give you, which is establishes whether or not you can get into certain universities. But I mean, it didn't bother me because there was no way I was going back to university. So when I finished high school, I sort of took a year off and really, a gap year, as you will, and really just sort of worked and partied. To be honest, that's all I really did. I went to nightclubs every single weekend. That was my life. I actually worked at the pokies, is what we call them here, but I'm pretty sure in America they're called like the slot machines. In Australia, we're allowed them everywhere, so every single hotel, every single pub, there is poker machines in there. So I just worked at a pub like in the pokies area. And yeah, living life, loving life, going out, partying all the time. Then I kind of was like, okay, I need to do something with my life. So I started researching, universities and like, what can I do? What do I like to do? And I was like, well, I like to party. So maybe I'll like plan parties. So of course I was attracted to events coordination. And I actually looked up online and I couldn't get into any of the universities that I wanted to get into because I didn't have an enter score, and I was still not old enough to be a mature age student, but I didn't have an enter score. So I actually found TAFE, which is like, TAFE is like a diploma, whereas obviously university is a degree, a graduate's degree. So I actually found a subject that had events coordination in it, which was business and public relations. Didn't know what public relations was, but I knew Samantha Jones did it, so I was like, winning, that's me. So anyway, I went to TAFE, did the whole thing, and still just continued my very, very much partying lifestyle. I went out all the time. I ended up traveling to Europe, so I wouldn't say that I necessarily took my studies seriously, and I deferred over and over and over again. I can already see this is getting so long, and I'm like still in the first section. Anyway, so when I actually finished the TAFE portion of my studies, I had the opportunity to go and do a degree. Now, I wouldn't have to do the whole degree. I was exempt from a lot of it because I'd already done the TAFE, and what it was actually going to be was only another year and a half for me to not just finish with a diploma, but to finish with a degree. And by the time, like, this is how the TAFE situation was. There was like 40 people that started the TAFE with me, and there was 3 of us in the class when we finished it. So I was pretty proud of myself to have made it that far. And out of those 3, I was actually the only person that decided to go on and do the degree, which I did, and something changed in me. I became the biggest nerd. I mean, I was a little bit older than a lot of the people who were studying in the same classes as me at that time. But yeah, I just completely changed. I guess I settled down. I had too many years of partying under my belt, and I was tired, and I really started investing myself into my schooling, and I really started to enjoy it. I really started to enjoy getting good grades. I was still very much a like do everything at the last minute kind of person, but I definitely became a hashtag nerd. But halfway through, I sort of started to understand like what entrepreneurship was, and I knew that, you know, with my history, I just really wasn't good at being told what to do, and obviously the idea of owning my own business or doing something myself really appealed to me. So I kind of had that on the back of my mind, but just continued on with my study. And then basically one day when I was like at this PR summit, because I was still studying business and public relations, I was at this PR summit, and I don't know if you've ever had that situation in your life where someone just says something to you and it's like ding, 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 those absolute light bulb moments. But someone said, if you want to have a thriving online career, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to do this, do that, you need to get online and grow your following. And I don't know, that just switched something in me. So literally that night I went home and started planning the fact that I was going to start a YouTube channel. Now, sorry, I'm just like readjusting. This is a full casual chat here, so let's get comfy. But anyway, so at the time I was doing the Kayla Itsinas Bikini Body Guide. Now, I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily a really fit kind of person. I definitely have my entire life struggled to achieve any fitness goals. I'm obviously not overweight, I'm not underweight. I guess I would call myself average. I'm not super fit looking. But yeah, I was like, I need to talk about something, so I'll talk about this. I'll talk about the Bikini Body Guide. And I sort of just did that, and I started talking about the Bikini Body Guide and started talking about other fitnesses. I think I was very much winging my way through my content because, as I said, I didn't really know a lot about fitness. I was kind of learning, then teaching, learning, then teaching, learning, then teaching, learning, experimenting, and then teaching. But I was consistent. I just kept putting out content. I kept making relationships. The thing is, like, you know, I started obviously putting out content, and there were so many times where I did get discouraged with YouTube because obviously starting a YouTube channel is hard, but then starting when you're not really being authentic to yourself is even harder. Like, people see through that. As much as you want to think that they don't, people see through that. So, I mean, I had a challenging time in the first year of my YouTube channel, and I nearly quit over and over again. I remember sitting there with like 100 subscribers being like, oh my God, I just, like 1,000 subscribers, that would be the best thing that has ever happened to me. And it took so long for it to happen. And then, you know, reaching 1,000, and then all of the milestones that happened after that. So I just want to interject my story to say, if you're starting out on your YouTube channel, or you're growing your YouTube channel, and you're at that, you know, 50 subscriber, 100 subscriber, 200 subscriber, 1,000 subscriber, even 10,000 subscriber, like, you will get there if you remain consistent and keep putting out authentic content, because every single person that you see, PewDiePie started his channel with just 1 subscriber or 0 subscribers. Like, everyone starts somewhere, and no matter how long it takes, you absolutely can get to where you want to go with your channel. Anyway, so I sort of then finished my degree and still was remaining consistent on YouTube. And I was like, shit, I really need to do something. You know, get a job or whatever. And a lot of my fellow classmates were going off and getting internships and stuff, and I was like, I just don't want to get a job. Like, I just don't want to work for someone. I don't want to sit in an office. Like, at that time I was working sort of in an office, just like selling wine, not even selling wine, I was like helping deliver wine. It's really hard to explain how I did. I basically worked in the customer service center for a wine wholesaler, put it that way. And I just didn't want to do any of that. So I was like, I'm just gonna start a business when I graduated. So what I did was do a little bit of research and started a social media marketing agency. Now, I was lucky AF with that social media marketing agency because the relationship that I had with someone that I was doing like on the side, just like managing their Facebook, they were a contract manufacturer. So not only was I able to do a lot of work for them, they had all of these different brands and that was able to get me a lot of work doing social media marketing without even having to do any marketing for my own business, launching a website or any of that. So I was still, you know, doing my own business, but sort of in this social media marketing sense, but you know, I wasn't marketing my own business, if that makes sense. And then sort of when I was like, okay, I've had some success for a while, I should probably, you know, start marketing myself. I just had this like rush of like fear, like all of these limiting beliefs that I probably feel like you're struggling with at the moment. Like, you know, what if people catch me out not being an expert? What if I'm not able to be consistent enough? I'm like really scared to charge people, like, because I knew my clients, so it was like a bit easier to like work with all of their brands, like the head of all of those brands. I like knew them, so I didn't feel like I was going to disappoint them enough. But I was like, what if someone comes on that I don't know and like I stuff up? Like, how scary. I just ran into all these real like upper limit problems when I was going to sort of launch myself as like a social media marketer. And I was like, shit, this has never happened to me. I've like never doubted myself like this. Like, I didn't even know what was happening because I'd like never been faced with a situation in my life where anything was hard or anything was challenging. I just did what I want my whole entire life, and you know, I never really had to answer to anyone, and even when I did, I just kind of left like I did at school. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just really, it was a real wake-up call for me that like I have fears and I have limiting beliefs, and there is stuff within me that is going to prevent me from achieving anything in my life. And so like I had to really step back and say, okay, like, what am I going to do about this? Because I know deep within me that I want to have my own business. I want to have this amazing lifestyle. I want to really be like an online personality. Just to say another thing, when I was younger, I really wanted to be like a NTV host. I just knew, I've known my whole life that I just sort of wanted to be, I guess per se, in the limelight, like spreading a message and helping people, but like didn't really know how as an entrepreneur. But yeah, so then all these fears came out, so I was like, okay, so what am I going to do? So essentially what I did was just really began to devote myself to researching how I could sort of overcome all of these limiting beliefs, all of these fears, and obviously that led me down a very much self-development path, which started with Tony Robbins, because I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Shallow Hal. Tony Robbins like makes a small appearance in that. When I really started researching like self-development on the internet, all of his videos pop up. It was a familiar face. I'd seen him before, so that's where it all began for me. So anyway, I spent ages still working with my social media client and all their brands, and it took me, yeah, like a year maybe of really just watching all of these videos. And I've got a video where I talk about the videos that have changed my life. Yeah, I was just really sort of understanding like how the mind works and understanding all of these like subconscious limiting beliefs that we have within us, that, you know, obviously it was apparent to me that I'd really never achieved anything. I've never had to achieve anything. I never had any sense of like extreme accomplishment, which made me have the limiting belief that I wouldn't have all of this stuff. And I'm going to talk about my struggles at the end, but another huge struggle for me is like, even, bless her heart, I obviously love my mum, she's a beautiful woman, but she didn't really get me in trouble. Like, there was no real repercussions for me when I was being naughty, and you know, she would still celebrate me even when I like, my mum's the type of person is like, I would like go to school, and if I like, I don't know, got like a C, she would like literally throw me a party. There'll be like streamers and everything. So do you know what I mean? Like, I really just, I was so accustomed to being celebrated for like minimal effort. So, you know, I really spent a lot of time working through all of those limitations. At the same, I'd obviously this whole time been consistent on my YouTube channel, but I think you guys can, you know, go back on my channel and have a look. You can really see when I started to learn all of this stuff, I really wanted to share it. It was changing my life so much that I really wanted to share what I was learning, and my channel took a complete pivot away from fitness, away from health, away from me sort of faking it until I made it until in the fitness industry, and really towards this whole like self-development niche. Anyway, and as I was sort of watching Tony Robbins and one of his seminars, something light bulbed again in me, and I was like, I could do that. That is what I'm supposed to be doing. I can help people like that. Like, I've gotten to a point in my life where I really care. I've always been super empathetic, you know, towards other people. I've really just been, I'm the type of person that you tell me a story and I'll probably cry. Like, I just love people. I love helping people. I love giving advice. I love giving advice. I'm always the type of person, you tell me what's wrong with you and I'll make you sit with me for like 5 hours and we'll talk all through it. Anyway, so I had this like moment, like I could do this, and it was like a snowball from there. The second I sort of, you know, they always say like when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. The day that I was like, I can do this, a coach literally fell into my inbox on Instagram. I started researching her. Everything she said resonated with me. And I was like, literally one night, like, George, I'm going to do this. I paid $6,000. I worked with this coach who was a coach that helped coaches set up their business. And yeah, I just did it. I went in 100 million trillion% head first and ran into this. And I mean, before I actually started working with a coach, I even started reaching out to people I knew and was like offering myself as a coach. Like, before I had a website, before I even started before I even really knew what I was going to coach, reaching out to people, being like, what do you need help with? Like, I know about this, this, and this. And so I started working with people, all while my YouTube channel still making 2 videos a week, still being consistent, and it was growing. That was sort of in November last year. Anyway, now we're getting into the good stuff. Alright, this video is so long. So my YouTube channel took a massive turn this year when I actually made a video all about how to set goals in 2017 and how to actually achieve them. That video went insane. I'm sure a lot of you found me from that video, but I'm pretty sure in like the space of 20 days I got 7,000 new subscribers, and that was just like huge for me. And it really took my audience from being a lot of that like fitness audience to really coming for like the business, productivity, and self-development content. And then so at the beginning of this year I started working with that coach, and as I said, I sort of went full steam ahead. My channel was growing. I built this business. My fiance went away, so I just like hectic full built this website, all of these like programs and everything, you know, giving all of this advice to the people that I found through word of mouth. Like the start of this year, like January, February, for me was just like full blown, everything I possibly could, massive imperfect action, and I just built this business like crazy. And I think I made a few vlogs about it, saying that this was what I was doing. And then obviously you guys would have seen a video where I said, hey, I've built this business, I've launched this business. Lucky for me, the fact that I had made a video talking about, hey, I'm launching this business and this is what I'm doing, I was blown away by the fact that launching my business to such a big audience that I had already spent, you know, by now it would have been about 3 years growing, it just took off. The business really did take off. And this is where a lot of people say to me, you know, you talk about hating this whole overnight success, hating this whole 7-figure sales funnel thing, because, you know, it appears to us, or like this is what you guys are saying to me, that I was an overnight success, but I just wasn't. I just grew an audience consistently over a long period of time of about 3 years, then hectically put my head down and built this business up as quickly as I possibly could. I didn't wait. I didn't have excuses. I didn't, you know, wait for all my ducks to be lined up. I didn't even wait for the business to be perfect. There were so many spelling mistakes on my website when I launched it. I got so many emails from people like really angry at me that I had spelling mistakes. Even probably still to this day I have spelling mistakes. But, you know, I just did it. I just built it at 90% and I just put it out there. And I was so proud of myself, and apparently you guys were proud of me too, because, you know, I had a few people that did, well, I had lots of people who booked in consultation calls and quite a few people that came on as clients from my audience on YouTube that I built for 3 years. Not an overnight success whatsoever. So, I mean, and I knew it really was my audience because the first 3 people that came on were all wanting to be health coaches. So it just shows that these people had been invested in me in quite some time. So that is essentially in a nutshell leading up to sort of the launch of my business. What I am doing now is obviously, as I said, I kind of just launched my business with something that I knew, and that was how to start a business. I knew everything that I'd learned. I knew everything that I'd learned from my first business, and everything that I'd learned from doing an entire degree on business, right? So I launched my business helping female entrepreneurs to take their idea to launch. So all of those stages that you need to go through to start an online business. Now, I'm obviously still new myself in business. My business, this coaching thing for me, I've only really been coaching people since, the end of last year. So, and obviously, I definitely would say I've got experience. I feel so comfortable in my ability to get people results, but my business was still going through an evolution. So I've actually sort of identified not just an area that there is an extreme need in the market, but an area that I'm super passionate about now, and that is helping female entrepreneurs who really want to position themselves as influencers, who want to grow their audience, who want to have a YouTube channel, who want to really just be that thought leader, that front of mind person in their industry. And I know a lot of, especially millennial females, want that. And so now that is what I'm doing. I'm helping women do exactly what I've done and be their authentic self online, grow that audience, and then build a business around that. I'm so out of breath. That, in a nutshell, is my business story. And now, again, one of the things that people have said is that I don't really talk about my struggles, which is why I really want to share two of my biggest challenges. And the first is what I said before. Like, my mom really always told me I was good, always told me I was amazing. So when I sort of went out to sort of do this business thing, I thought I could just do it at the 60-70% that I'd done the rest of everything else in my life at, and that you can't be like that in entrepreneurship. It's 100% into everything you possibly do. Some things have been a real struggle for me to sort of almost like muster up the fucks given, basically, to be able to actually put the effort into a lot of things. And a lot of people do get angry at me because I have a lot of spelling mistakes. Like, I really do a lot of stuff half-assed, and while that's really good in entrepreneurship, like, it obviously does lose a lot of credibility as well sometimes. But I also had this expectation that everything I put out into the universe is going to get a party thrown to it. Like, every video I post, every single program I put out, like, where is my parade, basically, is what's built into my subconscious mind. And I just know that I've got to just, I've had to work on the fact that I just need to get over that, and I need to rewrite my story that I can do everything, and I can do it properly, and that I can push through and do things at 100%, and that I can be organized, and I can be disciplined. That wasn't a tear, by the way. And my second challenge is really that I think as well, probably from the fact that, I was so celebrated, I struggled a lot of the time with social validation. So a lot of the stuff being online, you can really get caught up in those spikes of dopamine that come every single time you get 100 likes on an Instagram post. And I was looking outwards for validation for a long time there, and when that wasn't there due to the algorithm or the time of day I posted, it would really make me feel bad about myself. Why do people hate me, basically? So I think that's something that I struggled with for a long time, especially when my channel wasn't growing. But now I know that there's different reasons why people grow at certain rates, and some things are successes and some things aren't. The only way I can be validated is if I do it for myself, if I look and reflect on all of the things that I have achieved and all of the feedback that I do get from my clients, because I've been able to help them change their lives and all of that, not just from the number of likes that I get on a video or whatever. So I can go more into those challenges if you really did want me to. Like, this is like almost half an hour now, so I don't even know if you guys are probably going to see this and be like, I don't even want to watch this because it's so long. But if you did watch it, and if you did stay to the end, I thank you so much for all of the support throughout my entire journey. I really do hope that you can see how much I'm trying to give back to you guys, by answering all of your questions. As I said, add me as a friend on Facebook. Like, let's really chat about things. And all of the people that have come on as clients, I really, really, really do appreciate absolutely everything. I really hope this clarifies any sort of skepticism that you did have about myself, my journey, my business. If you did kind of want to know what I'm offering at the moment, pretty much I do have my, premium package where I do work with you guys for 12 weeks to really, you know, establish yourself, establish your business, grow your business online, and set up all the systems you need to scale and grow your business, as well as position yourself as an influencer. Also do have like one-on-one sort of workshops, 60-minute workshops that you can do as well if you just need that little bit of coaching to set you off in the right direction. That was a long video, so my camera's about to overheat now. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.